I appreciate this opportunity. Laura and Hadley and Holden and I did not get together, but we're going to have a lot of similar themes. And so I apologize for that up front, but I think it's important today. I wish you knew how excited I am and truly honored to be your commencement speaker today. I want to thank Chris Rolls for inviting me for this terrific experience. I've been an admirer of Kolbe Academy for years, and now I'm able to witness it myself, so thank you. At Benedictine College, we have so much respect for the students and the families who rely on Kolbe Academy for their curriculum. We find them to be as prepared as any students we have for the rigors of the college academic life. There are over 40 Kolbe Academy students returning this fall, and welcome, around 12 new freshmen, some of whom are here today, so thank you. And Kolbe students are leaders. Kolbe-educated students at Benedictine College are soccer players and track stars. They're on the dance team. They're Gregorian Leadership Fellows, Honors Institute Scholars, Constitutional Fellows. We have Kolbe-educated engineers and architects and pre-med and pre-law students. They're involved in music and intramurals, theater, and campus ministry. As I said, Kolbe Academy students are some of the most qualified and prepared students and exceptional leaders on our campus. So thank you, families, for your commitment to this education, for your commitment to Kolbe Academy. When I received the invitation to address this class of 2026, I was overwhelmed to be asked to do this, and as I've admired the Kolbe Academy students and their families for years, and as you can imagine, I was a little nervous preparing for this. It is your big day. I wanted to do a nice job for you, so whenever I get anxious like this, I try to put it in perspective, and I remember back at a time I was giving a talk to a monthly dinner event in the Twin Cities. They have a dinner once every month, and they invite speakers to come. I give my talk. As I sit down, the MC gets up and says, "Oh, hey, Steve, nice job. Thanks for being here. Now listen up. Next month, we're going to have the best speaker that we've ever had at this event." So graduates, you're going to have to bear with me, but not to worry. Next year, I'm sure they'll have the best commencement speaker they've ever had at Kolbe Academy. Today, I wanted to talk to you about 3 things that have helped me and hopefully will help you as well. First, strive for greatness. Second, have a vision. And third, have faith. First, strive for greatness. I'll re-quote Pope Benedict XVI, who said, "The world promises you comfort, but you're not made for comfort. You're made for greatness." Benedictine College was founded in 1858 by Benedictine monks who came from Germany and then settled in Pennsylvania. Some monks then came to Kansas to found the Abbey and the college. So think about that for a second. 3 years before the Civil War, on the Kansas and Missouri border, a college was found. Your history is not a great place to start anything at that time, let alone a Catholic college. There are very few Catholics on the prairie in the 19th century. In fact, the Kansas diocese stretched from the Missouri border past Denver and all the way to the Canadian border. So it's a huge, huge diocese at the time because there weren't that many Catholics out there. The weak and faithless do not have the courage to found a Catholic college in Atchison, Kansas in 1858. Nor do the weak and faithless found a Catholic study program over 40 years ago when homeschooling was not as popular as it is today. But the founders of Benedictine College and the founders of Kolbe Academy are not weak or faithless. They are brave and full of zeal. Graduates, it would have been much easier or comfortable for you to just go to the local high school or find something else that is not as challenging online. Or it might have been easier to not try as hard as you can or achieve great things that you have achieved so far. But that's not what a Kolbe Academy student does. No, you don't take the easy way out. You strive for greatness. Jesus in the Gospels never says, "Go out and eat more chocolate cake." He doesn't have to say that because that's what you want to do. No, he says, be with the poor, comfort the sick, visit those in prison, love your enemies. Those things are hard. They're uncomfortable. But we must do them because you're not made for comfort, you're made for greatness. Sometimes you'll be faced with tough choices. Many of those choices will be between comfort and greatness. Choose greatness. Second, strive to have a vision for the future. Archabbot Boniface Wimmer is considered the most important Catholic missionary in the 19th century America. He founded 11 different Benedictine abbeys around the country and over 150 parishes. In fact, it was Archabbot Boniface Wimmer who sent the monks from Pennsylvania to Kansas to found the abbey and Benedictine College. When asked what his vision for success is, Archabbot Boniface Wimmer said this. He said, "Forward, always forward, everywhere forward. We must not be held back by debt or bad years or difficulties of the times, because man's adversity is God's opportunity." Forward, always forward, everywhere forward has been a part of our vocabulary at Benedictine College for a while now, but it's a charism that has been there from the beginning. Our faculty and staff, and especially students, have really embraced this way of thinking, this idea of forward, always forward, everywhere forward. In fact, last year we had a football game, and during the game, the other team was punting to us, and our receiver catches the punt. He runs to the right, and he kind of gets stopped, so he reverses field. He actually gets tackled about 10 yards from where he first caught the punt. From the stands, you could hear our students begin chanting, "Forward, always forward, everywhere forward." It's not exactly what I had in mind when I taught them forward, always forward, but you get the idea. This belief in forward, always forward has served the college well during some of the most difficult times in our country's history. You must be embracing forward, always forward, everywhere forward when confronted with the Civil War, the Spanish flu, and 2 world wars, and the Great Depression, the civil unrest of the 1960s, the financial burdens of the 70s and 80s. And that's why when we're faced with adversity, we don't shrink, we don't hide, we don't run away. No, we stand up and move forward, always forward, everywhere forward. And it's this attitude which has led to unprecedented success at Benedictine College. In 25 years, we've gone from 900 students to over 2,500. We started with 18 buildings 25 years ago. We have 55 now on our campus. New programs, engineering, architecture, nursing, and 2 new incredibly visionary things that we're embarking on now. That is a forward, always forward attitude. One is a new medical school. It'll be the most pro-life medical school in the country, where our physicians will be taught about the worth and dignity of every human. And we'll be doing something no one is doing, which is having an academically excellent medical school that will also be faithfully Catholic. And we're doing it right here in the center of the country at Benedictine College. The other thing we're doing is we're open this fall. We're going to be opening up a new library. This is not like your typical library. This library, it looks like Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Inside will be a replica of the Liberty Bell and a replica of the Assembly Room, where they signed the Declaration of Independence and the founders signed the Constitution of the United States of America. It becomes a place where we can bring young people onto our campus and teach them about the greatness of America. At the groundbreaking of that library, our student government president said that the youth of today are taught to hate their country, but not at Benedictine College, because we believe in America, and we believe that the last best hope on earth should be celebrated, and that those values of self-government and individual liberty and civic virtue should be passed from one generation to the next. That's what's going to happen at Benedictine College with this new library, because we continue to push forward, always forward, everywhere forward, and so we can tell the world that we love our country and that you should too. And so that's what we'll do at Benedictine. So forward, always forward, everywhere forward has served us well, and it will serve you well too. So when you're faced with adversity or a tough road, when you go to college or to the workforce, and things aren't as comfortable as they were when you were at home, don't be held back by difficulties at times. Look forward, always forward, everywhere forward, because your adversity is God's opportunity to show you His love and mercy and bless you in ways that you can only imagine. And finally, the key to everything is to rely on and have faith in God. Let me tell you a story. As a college president, sometimes one of the things that you have to do is raise money. We had this vision to build a new building on our campus a few years ago. It was the largest building project on our campus. And so we had to go out there and raise money for this new building. I went down to Texas and spoke to one of our alums. And he believed in the vision, okay? He believed in this vision, and he said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $1 million today. I'll write you a check for $1 million. And I'm going to give you a challenge that from now, this was in February, until June the 15th, if you can raise an additional $6 million, I'll give you another $1 million. Okay, are you with me? Gives me a check for $1 million. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those or not. It's pretty awesome. Very stressful fly home, on the plane, making sure I don't lose that $1 million check. And he gave us a challenge to raise $6 million in cash and pledges by June the 15th, and he was going to write me another $1 million check. So pretty awesome. So what a great challenge it is. We go out, we're talking to alums, we're raising a lot of money, and great things are happening, except when I woke up on June the 15th, we were still $600,000 away from meeting our goal. I had till 5 p.m. that day to get people to commit in cash or pledges for another $600,000. Well, it just so happened on that day we also had a leadership camp at Benedictine College. And we invited a special speaker that day, a guy by the name of Mike Sweeney, who was going to give the talk. So Mike comes onto campus. I'm there to greet him, and he says, "Guys, Steve, I'd like for you to listen to my talk. Would you mind coming and listening?" And I said, "Sure, Mike. I don't have anything else to do. I just have to raise $600,000 by 5 o'clock, but I guess I will listen to you." And you know what? I'm glad I did, because he told this amazing story. So Mike was in high school, a very good baseball player, and his dream was to be a Major League Baseball player. That was his dream. He had offers to go to Stanford and St. Mary's and Long Beach State and all these other good baseball schools out in California, which is where he's from. But he forsook it all so he could get drafted by the Kansas City Royals and pursue his dream of being a Major League Baseball player. So he does. He gets drafted. They sign him, he starts playing baseball, and he's in the minor leagues. And he's in there for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And I don't know if you know much about baseball, but he was a catcher, and catchers seem to age out faster than everybody else. So it came a point in time after one of the seasons, the Royals came to him and said, "Mike, you need to make the Major League club coming out of spring training, or we're going to release you." So what does he do in the off season? He works hard, he lifts weights, he hits off the tee, he runs, he becomes a better baseball player because he wanted to fulfill his dream of being a Major League Baseball player. But the entire off season, all he heard were bad reports. Sweeney's going to get traded. Sweeney's going to get released. No way Sweeney makes the ball club. He actually goes over to one of the coaches' houses one day, and he sits down with them and he says, "All right, you have to tell me the truth. What's going on?" And his coach said, "Mike, I got to tell you, be honest with you, we had a meeting yesterday. I think you probably have a 0% chance of making the Major League Ball Club." Well, of course, Mike is completely devastated, right? This is his dream, and now he's just being told it's not going to happen. And so he does what he does every day. He went to Mass. He sat in the back row, back pew, and he cries the entire Mass. And one of his friends sees him, walks over to him and says, "Mike, what's going on?" And Mike tells him the whole story. And his friend said, "Mike, listen, you've got to think about this. Think of your life as a tandem bicycle. Okay, one of these two-seaters, you've seen these tandem bikes?" He says, right now you're on the front of the bike, you're pedaling as hard as you can, right? Working hard, hitting off the tee, and you're trying to guide that bike for you to be a Major League Baseball player. But Mike, for you to be truly successful, you have to get on the back of the bike. You still have to continue to pedal as hard as you can. But you have to let God on the front and let him guide you and say, Jesus, I trust in you. And Mike says, you're exactly right. I've been trying to guide this thing the whole time. I'm trying to be in charge. I have to let go. I have to let God on the front. I still have to pedal as hard as I can on the back. I still have to do what I need to do to be successful, but I have to let God on the front and say, Jesus, I trust in you. So that's how he lives his life. So what happens? Sweeney goes off to spring training. He hits 400. He makes the Royals, 5-time All-Star, and now inducted in the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame. All because he was willing to get on the back of the bike and let God on the front and let his will be done. Well, as you can imagine, I'm pretty inspired by that story. I hope that you're inspired as well. I walk out. You guys may remember I still have $600,000 to raise, okay, by 5 o'clock. So I know exactly where I'm standing on campus. I have my cell phone in my hand. I look up to heaven. I say, all right, God, I'm going to get on the back of the bike. I'm going to work as hard as I can the rest of this day. I'm going to let you on the front. And if you want this to happen, if you want me to meet this goal, then so be it. And if you don't, I fully accept it. Literally, as soon as those words left my mouth, I get a call on my cell phone from a guy from Denver I hadn't talked to in 6 months. He says, I've been thinking about your building. I don't know why, but me and my wife are in for $200,000. I hang up, I get another call, $100,000. I hang up, I get another call. By noon that day, we had raised the full $600,000 because I was willing to get on the back of the bike and let God on the front and let his will be done. So. So the two keys to that story are this: letting God on the front. Let him on the front of that bike. Let his will be done, in essence, saying, Jesus, I trust in you. But the other key is that when you're on the back of the bike, you're on coasting, you're pedaling as hard as you can. In other words, work as if it all depends on you. Pray as if it all depends on God. Graduates, as you leave this ceremony and move to another chapter in your life and all that God has in store for you, try to remember these three concepts. Remember, you're not made for comfort. You're made for greatness. Strive for greatness. 2, have the vision of forward, always forward, everywhere forward. And 3rd, let God be in charge. Whenever you're in a tough spot, say, Jesus, I trust in you. Thank you again for your kind invitation to speak at this wonderful occasion. I wish you the best of luck in the future. Know that you're loved, and be thankful for the treasure you have in that great family of yours that you're a part of, and the great opportunity you were blessed with a Kolbe Academy education. Thank you. God bless the class of 2026.